Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're starting our new themed week, which should have started on Monday, but we're still catching up from last week, me not being able to make any videos. So it is Friday. We're going to finish up this black metal week in 2 to 3 days, so that Monday we're back on track with next week's theme. So today we are checking out a band called DIMMU BORGIR, and I have no idea what I'm getting into with a name like that. So we have comments coming in from Randall R., Nathan Lockhart, Derek Neitzel, Frostagaki, Sergio Osan, Stevel3113, Derek Neitzel got put in twice. Hey, look at that. Alessa Christian, Raz, Oscar Brash Music, and Lawrence Flyerman. And basically, the Live Forces of the North Night tour is what people told me to check out. Most of that was in response to my Nightwish reaction, where I said it was cool that they kind of mashed like classical orchestral music with like operatic singing and rock, but that there was no orchestra there. A lot of people told me to check these guys out and this specific show. And let's see, this song is called Progenies of the Great Apocalypse. It was the most requested track. So yeah, let's see what we get into here. The guy's makeup and it's called black metal. So I mean, I'm wearing some baby blue today just to brighten things up because I'm thinking black metal is going to be pretty dark stuff. All right, let's get to it.
Progenies. Progenies.
Yeah, I think I was right to wear some baby blue.
Of the Great Apocalypse.
Ooh. So far, a great use of the orchestra. Nice little like gallop. Those flute runs and trills really add so much character to what's going on. Talk about filling the sound up too. Nice little run there in the strings. Double time. Yes. choir harmonizing with his fries. Yeah. Oh man. I like how they're using the orchestra to provide a lot of texture and melody to just that fast breakdown section where it would actually be pretty monotonous for the rock bands. Yeah, that was phenomenal. So yeah, that was wild. I really enjoyed that. So the thing I really want to focus on here is how well the orchestra was utilized. Often when we see some of this metal meets orchestra stuff, anytime they bring in a classical group of instruments to a metal song or a metal group, it doesn't add much, at least not what I've seen on this channel so far that's been recommended to me. Usually it's there to make it sound bigger or make the sound richer, kind of like a faux richness, where because you have these violins and trumpets, the song sounds better, even though there's not much interesting ideas being brought to the table from the orchestra. I've mentioned that a couple times in the past, but with this song, the orchestra, I can't see the song without the orchestra. That's the thing. I think that's the part that hits me the hardest. I don't know if the song was written with the orchestra in mind, or if it was written as, for the metal band, and then they were doing the show, and they brought the symphony on board, and then they wrote parts for it, kind of like what happened with Symphony Metallica. I don't know how this concert came together. I don't know how this song was originally envisioned, but I don't think it works without the orchestra. I think it's a very bland song if you just have guitar, bass, and drums. For instance, near the end, they had a breakdown section. Guitar and bass were just playing some really fast, low notes, maybe just tremolo picking on a pedal tone, not on like a foot pedal. The drummer was just throwing down some wicked fast double bass kicks, and we've heard that in metal bands before, and it's a cool, heavy breakdown to kind of introduce this, really powerful, fast section to a song. But with this song, they did that, and the orchestra continued melodic ideas. We had little runs, we had flourishes, we had trills, we had a violin playing a little melodic line over the whole thing, just kind of having this lead melody floating over this, heavy, quick section. It was just phenomenal. It added so much to a standard sort of rote idea, that I can't imagine a song without that, because otherwise it would just be a kind of a standard metal song. Um, and that's not a bad thing, but I mean, who goes out of their way to say, yeah, I want to blend in with the crowd. That's kind of like what metal is against. Metal is about doing your own thing, and being proud of it and standing tall with your own identity, not mixing into the crowd. And this song just has its own identity. It just uses all the elements that they've brought in outside of the metal band to such great effect. Um, the choir bit came out of nowhere. But the cool thing is, once the choir bit was over, the choir wasn't gone. It wasn't like we're bringing you on for, a single section of this song. I don't think the choir was introduced up until that point. At least I don't remember hearing them. But after that point, they were still present. They were providing a nice, like a chord progression floor, basically, for the more melodic sections. They were doing harmonies with other instruments who were providing floors for the bands. I mean, for the song. It's just, dang. And like I said, it's the little things, because you can write any song and have these big, huge orchestral floors to them, where you basically have your violins, your tubas, your trumpets, your violas, your contrabasses, some of the beefier sounds, not like your clarinets and your flutes, but your big sounds. And you can have them hold out notes and play through the chord progression and put that under the band, and yeah, it's going to be a big sound. It's going to have this sort of richness to it, because you have more than just distorted guitars and drums, but it's not really adding much to the band. It's sort of a simple way to implement these sounds, these timbres and instruments. But these guys, they understand the roles of the instruments. Your big, loud, majestic sections are going to be done by your trumpets. Your flutes can't get away with that. But your flutes have this whimsical, airy feels to them. They're a lot better at pulling off these flourishes and little embellishments and little trills that add character to what's being played, and that was done in spades. Like, that's how you use flutes to great effect. I mean, you can always subvert this too. I'm sure there's plenty of amazing tracks that use the trumpets for flourish, or the tubas for flourish, and kind of have clarinets or saxophones leading the sound. But for the most part, I mean, if you want to stick to pretty standard instrument roles, this is what you do. And the thing is, it's being done. It's just, yeah. I mean, even the little things like doing the fries over the choir. The thing is that he had these like targeted fries. It was I didn't really hear much vocal cord to it. It sounds like it was almost all fry, but he still found a way to pull pitch into it. I don't know how he did it, but he harmonized with the choir. He was hitting pitches with some of the choir ranks. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of the vocals. Anybody who's been here a while, they're growing on me. I'm more adjusted to them. They don't turn me away, but I still don't. They're still super harsh. I can take a fry scream every once in a while, but these weird, I don't. That's like negative connotation, but these weird guttural alien like, yeah, these kind of vocals, man, they're different. They're different. I'm still getting used to them. But the thing is it didn't really turn me away because all the music was so well written. And the weird thing is, walking away from this, I could not see this song performed with cleans or traditional fry or growls, guttural stuff. Like, this song just needs that very unique vocal style And I think it's just more about giving this song, this band, whatever their sound is, that really core identity. And you can, like I said, you can see that in the orchestra. They're using it to a very different effect. They're using it in a very classical way on top of the metal music. And that gives the band in this song and their albums, I guess, a very unique identity, because you don't see this kind of classical understanding in metal music with symphonic elements. And it's just like every decision they made for this song, at least, is about expressing the core identity of the band. They have this very unique idea of how music can be composed, how genres can be mashed, how groups of instruments can be utilized together. And it's just real genius. I mean, all of it's just good stuff. So, yeah, I am probably going to find a full clip and watch this whole concert. Well, I'm going to at least give a couple more songs some tries, just because I enjoyed this so much. I really like how the orchestra reads. The interesting part, I want to close out on this, is that the drums are very prominent in mix, but the guitars and bass, not so much, especially when the orchestra shows up. So, I don't know how it sounds on studio version, but I think it's really interesting that, I mean, we're talking about two instruments versus an entire, symphony. They have amps, they can turn them up and all, but I mean, you still got to mix it all so it sounds well. But I think it's really interesting that somewhere in the audio team, they ruled that the symphony was more important than the bass and guitar. And I think that definitely colors my perception of them, because if it were the other way around, I don't think I would have enjoyed this as much. Even if the song could have been entirely identical, the way that it would have been mixed would have given more emphasis to the metal band, and I think that my perception of their identity in their composition would have been completely changed. So, yeah, that's a little interesting tidbit. But yeah, this is where you guys come in. No, hit me up more. DIMMU Borgir. DIMMU Borgir. Obviously, this concert is phenomenal, but I get the impression that they don't always play with an orchestra, which means that maybe they have a live recording of one, or they use samples or something. I don't know. But at least this concert has got my attention. But if there's anything else that's really good out there, hit me up with that. And I guess more bands like this that utilize the symphony element actually as a symphony rather than a singular, sound, which is typically what gets utilized when they bring a symphony into metal stuff. And I will be back with another episode not too long after. I guess I'm probably going to get 2 or 3 episodes out today, because I got to get 5 out through the weekend. So I got time today to kind of get a few out. And you guys can hit me up in the comments. While you're down there, you can like, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can check out my Patreon or my Twitter. Those links are in the description. And like I said, I'll have a couple of episodes out today and a couple out tomorrow. And worst case scenario, one on Sunday, so that we can get caught up and ready for Modern Prog on Monday. Alright, I want to thank everyone again just for being patient with me this past 2 weeks, I guess. Not getting any videos out last week. I was just bogged down, and then, trying to get out 10 videos this week to get caught up on Monday, and the weird scheduling. Sometimes we got like 6 o'clock, 6:30 videos. So, yeah, we're getting back on schedule next week, and I just, want to thank everybody for being patient with me this last week. So, I will be back later today, also tomorrow, and then maybe on Sunday. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what I'm aiming for, 9 p.m. UTC. And until then, you guys stay safe out there and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.